Welcome to episode 6 of All Tingz Sobriety. Today, I had the pleasure of meeting Jenny, and her story only strengthens my theory of the deeper the pain, the stronger the impact. Jenny started drinking at the fragile age of 16 and only progressed after losing her mother to cancer and her brother to a fentanyl-laced pill within only a year of each other. She felt alone and helpless until one night she realized that she was next if something didn't change. On January 8th, 2023, she chose sobriety. After 32 days in an inpatient rehab and months of intensive outpatient therapy, Jenny rebuilt her life from the ground up, trading her career in occupational therapy for entrepreneurship and discovering how ionized water transformed her autoimmune health without a single prescription. This is Jenny's story. All right, we are on episode, this is episode 6. I have Jennifer Hale with us today. She is a female entrepreneur. She is in the living water business, which I am a huge fan of. I wish I could advocate for it more. I don't know enough, but I'm excited to hear about Jenny's story, how she got into that, and how her journey through sobriety actually led her into this beautiful business in the wellness industry, which is so healing, thinking about really like the root of healing, which is what we all kind of get into, I feel like, once we're on the sober journey. And thinking about how water is kind of one of those key factors in rebuilding the fundamentals of ourselves on a cellular level. I get goosebumps talking about it because I have friends that are like totally into it. And every time I have the conversation with them, I'm just like blown away. So I'm really excited to have you here today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I honor you and your energy and showing up today. So thank you for that. And welcome to the All Tingz Sobriety podcast.
Well, thank you. And you said that all very beautifully, by the way. It's like you're already a water lingo gal like me.
I
And thank you
believe
for
in it.
having me.
I can
Yeah,
speak on anything I truly believe in,
yeah.
and I've experienced it, I've witnessed it, and I know the leaders in our like community. I'm very close with them,
Yeah.
and excited to get to know you a little bit better and just hear more. So like, let's just start with that. Let's start with who you are and what you do and what you offer our beautiful 805 community.
Yeah, so I'm Jennifer Hale. I go by Jenny. I'm actually born and raised in Atascadero, California. So literally 20 minutes from where I live right now. So I've been on the Central Coast almost my whole life. I did go to San Diego for a couple years after I went to Cal Poly, which is our local university. And so basically, I help people get this living water system in their lives. It's ionized water. It's been really transformative for my health journey. I have multiple autoimmune disorders. And like most recovering addicts, I suffer with mental health like anxiety, depression. And there's a ton of research with this water specifically with alleviating those kinds of symptoms. And so I'm pharmaceutical free, I'm drug and alcohol free. Like I'm not even California sober. I don't partake in marijuana. Like all, it's totally fine that people do. And I just never really got into cannabis. Like I tried to be a stoner with the thought that I would drink less. And it wasn't like it made me paranoid and I'm like I guess I'm kind of like neurotic anyway, so I was like this is not my jam. But anyways, so yeah, I've been here on the Central Coast most of my life. My career after Cal Poly, I continued on my educational path with occupational therapy assistant. So I have a certification in that. That was a 2-year program down in San Diego. And so I worked in mainstream healthcare for about 5 years. I came back from San Diego and worked here on the Central Coast in skilled nursing facilities, helping people gain back independence, like the elderly community,
Oh,
which was really great. I love my old people.
yeah.
But it was also a really emotionally taxing being in that field, and a lot of the healthcare principles I wasn't aligning with as I got older, I guess, and more wise to how it's all about money and productivity and less about patient care, which is oftentimes why people get into that field, like even doctors, right? Is to help people. And then there's all the logistics with it that just wasn't aligning anymore. So, does that answer your question of
Yeah, a
what
hundred
I'm doing
percent.
now? Yeah.
Yeah, like, and so were you at the time that you like broke free from that path or started to have like this new awareness, like this isn't really aligned? Were you
Yeah.
still drinking, or was this part of your new awareness in like your sobriety journey?
Yeah, so let's guys go back a little bit because it kind of all intertwines, right? Like most
Okay,
of our
cool.
stories do.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, where do I start?
I
Because
know.
with alcohol, I've always had a pretty toxic relationship with alcohol. Like that's how I would describe it. Like even early on, like the very first time that I got drunk, I was at a party. I was 16. I had a boyfriend of 2 years. He went to Templeton, so that was, 10 minutes, a different high school.
Mhm.
And I went to a party. I was a cheerleader. It was supposed to be just for cheerleaders, and so the girls all got drunk, and then football players showed up, and I kissed someone else. And I was dating someone for 2 years. And so your inhibition's lower, right? That was super devastating. I told him he broke up with me, your first love, heartache from day one from of drinking. But I got a taste
With like
for
negative,
the party
hard
scene.
negative, like
Yeah, you would think okay, this is your sign, just stop there, No, no.
the
I got a
thrill,
taste for
the
that party
thrill.
scene. Yeah, and I'm oh, I'm so fun when I drink, and you get that reinforcement from others when you first start drinking, that this is how you have a good time.
Totally.
And so that story kept playing out, and then there was plenty of times I did have a good time, when you first are in it in the partying. So I still I graduated high school with almost straight A's. I did well because I was just drinking on the weekends. I did, however, get night owl in my high school yearbook. You know how they nominate you for
Yeah,
things?
yeah.
Mine was night owl, which was the party girl.
And you up for success
Um,
on that party girl path.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yep. And then I went to Cal Poly straight after high school. And I realized that college is really hard. You actually have to try really hard to succeed. And I was in a sorority in that party scene. And then my mom got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And this was, I was going into my sophomore year of college. And my whole world was turned upside down. They gave her 6 months to live. Me and my mom are very close. I'm I'm gonna drop out of school. I just want to be there for you. She was like, don't drop out of school and don't shave your head because I also wanted to do that. I'm glad I didn't. But she rocked it. She fought like hell and she battled for another 10 years. So they gave her 6 months to live.
Wow.
But I saw the ugly side of our healthcare system then as well, and what chemo does to your body, and sitting there in hours of her appointments and watching this poison just go into her. And it did give her more time. So, there is benefits to this, right?
Mhm.
But it also left her feeling like shit, all the time. So, the quality of life for the amount of life. Like, there's like this balancing act. Um, and so, yeah, so then after Cal Poly, like I graduated, but I was suffering. Like my grades going from like an A student to
Yeah.
like, okay, my GPA was like at one point like a 1.8 or something because I was partying and like the social aspect and drinking like 4 days out of the week and like getting by and not really like learning, like I got my bachelor's in psychology because that's what I thought I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to be a psychologist. And then I took a class I think it was my junior year of Cal Poly and counseled other students. And I was like, yeah, I hate this. I cannot do this for the rest of my life. And
Yeah.
then I transitioned to occupational therapy. Like I needed to go to Cuesta and get prereqs for grad school, and then I went down to San Diego. So during this time, like I was drinking, I had a toxic relationship. Like there's plenty of nights that I would black out, not remember, and then have that anxiety and that depression. And then the only thing that helps is to drink again in my alcoholic brain, right? And so this went on, and then I actually lost my mom in 2020, September of 2020, when the world shut down, right, that year. I was living with a boyfriend at the time who also really loved to drink. Like we were drinking buddies. We drank every day. And
Yeah.
then COVID hit, and I was furloughed from my occupational therapy job. So then I was home and he was working remotely. So we were home just drinking.
Hmm.
And then my mom passes away, and I'm the only one that could be there to hold her hand as she died here at French Hospital. I took her to the hospital at 4 in the morning. Like she was completely like not remission because the kind of cancer she had, they never said remission, but she was working a 16-hour shift 2 days before this. And so she calls me at 4 in the morning, like, baby, I really don't feel good. I need to go to the hospital. So I drive to Paso, pick her up. Oh, and I'm like drunk on this drive to Paso, by the way. Like, I'm like, first of all, I'm freaking out. And I'm like a little intoxicated because I had drank the night before and it's 4 in the morning. So my boyfriend at the time was with me and we have to pull off on the side of the grade and we have to switch drivers because I was like, I don't think I'm like, am I driving straight? And he's like, no. So he drives to Paso and we pick her up and
Hmm.
go to French Hospital back here. And they almost didn't let me go back with her because of COVID. And I sat on her wheelchair and was like, you're not taking my mom anywhere without me. And she was like, kind of like falling asleep and just like super out of it, out like really uncomfortable. Anyways, they run these tests. I go back with her and they're like, there's nothing we can do. We don't know why, but her blood pressure is like tanking. She's having hard time breathing. Well, she had a DNR.
Hmm.
So that's a do not resuscitate, like no intervention. My mom was a respiratory therapist for 15 years and she never wanted to be on a ventilator. And so she actually had a DNR, so they couldn't do anything. And I'm sitting there screaming at the nurses and the doctors, like, fucking do something. And no one's doing
Yeah.
anything. And I'm like, she's looking at me like so scared, like not talking, but like just so frightened. And then she closes her eyes and like that's it. And I'm just like holding her hand as it like flatlines. And my grandpa, her dad, is in the parking lot. Her brother is in the parking lot. They wouldn't let them come
They
in
won't.
because of COVID. My brother's on the way back from a job in Big Sur. I call him, but I didn't tell him what happened. So I'm sitting in the room for like a couple hours until they finally let everyone come in. And so that's what began this spiral of like deep, dark depression of I don't even care. Like I was already in the alcoholic, like set on that path. And
Yeah.
then this definitely just made me go, what's the point? Kind of a thing. So my
Yeah.
brother finally gets there. He was a chef, and he gets there, and we go to McCarthy's. As soon as the police come, they take their report because they do that. And
Mhm.
then my brother's like, let's go get wasted. We go to McCarthy's. We invite our friends and some family. Like, okay, our mom just died. We get wasted. Um, and then me and my brother are grieving our mother. We have to go through her home, and it was just a really challenging time. And
Mhm.
then my brother on January 6th of 2021, my brother goes to Arizona to visit his best friend. He just had a baby, super exciting time. Well, my brother takes a pill that's laced with fentanyl and he dies. And so this is 4 months after I lost my mom. And me and my brother were like really close. We lived together for part of college. It was like the Hale twins, like our friends called us, like us against the world. Our parents got divorced when I was 8 months old. So it was two different families, and we always traded back and forth 50-50 custody, right? And so then I'm already heartbroken. And then my heart breaks completely. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm pissed because that is a part of grief, is just like, okay, now I'm meant to do this by myself. Like, what is this? And so my boyfriend at the time was friends with my brother too, right? And we were living together. Well, he decides that he no longer wants to be with me 2 months after my brother dies and moves to Florida. And in hindsight, thank God, because we were going to like kill each other and drink
Yeah.
ourselves to death
Yeah.
because like he was he was like my drinking buddy. So every time I drank, he drank. Every time he drank, I
Oh,
drank. And
yeah.
you feel less guilty when you have like a partner in crime. That
Totally.
it's like, oh, we're both doing this. Like there is so much more, I don't know, like it's different. I don't know if you've ever experienced that
Of
when you
course.
have like, yeah, like a
Yeah.
person to drink with, like then it's not as bad or
Yeah.
something. So then I was like super, super low, and I lived 5 blocks from downtown slow, like
Mhm.
walking, right? And me and him lived in this apartment 5 blocks from there. Well, he moves to Florida, and then it's just me in this one bedroom apartment by myself, 5 blocks from downtown. And I don't
Wow.
care about my life. Like, I'm like the lowest of lows. My dad lives in Morro Bay. My dad's actually been sober for 23 years now. But why this is all happening, he's seeing me killing myself slowly. And so that's really hard on our relationship, right? He just lost his son, and I'm in my selfish addiction. It's all about me kind of a thing. So it definitely put a wedge between me and my dad instead of
Sure.
bringing us closer. Like, we just lost one of our favorite closest people. Um, and so that continues on for about a year and a half. And
Okay.
then
That's a
at
long
this
time.
time,
It's a long time.
yeah, of just drinking every day.
Yeah.
And I was trying to keep my occupational therapy job at a skilled nursing facility. Like when all this happened, they were really understanding, gave me time off. Even like employees put like money together for me. Well, little do they know, closed doors, I'm just getting wasted. Like it's like so, so shameful because, like there's a lot of
They're
shame
trying to
that I have
support
been,
you and you're just
yeah, I'm
sitting.
just,
And that's the only way you
yeah,
knew how to hold it, though,
right.
like compassion for
Mhm.
that version of ourselves. Like getting sober, you have to look back and be like, I didn't know how to hold that much pain. And like I have to
Right.
forgive myself for that,
Yeah.
Eventually you get to that point, but not
Yeah.
when you're going through it.
It's still like so like cringy when I think about it. Like a lot of times like I had avoided even thinking about all of this, and like saying it right now is like healing because you have to go
Good.
back
I'm so
there to
glad.
like actually like get through it. And that's the thing.
Good.
You have to actually feel it to heal it. And I know that's like lame a thing that people say, but it's
Yeah.
so true. You got to walk through it.
Yeah.
Um, so then I lose pretty much my career.
Okay.
I am pretty broke at this point and trying to afford this apartment by myself in downtown Slow, where it was two incomes. Now it's just me. And my grandfather, so my mom's dad, lives in a Tascadero on 10 acres, four-bedroom house. And he's like, baby girl, just come here, move in with me. I'm lonely. Like he had lost my grandma, or we lost my grandma, my aunt, now my mom. So he was lonely, and I was broke and lonely and talks like killing myself essentially. So I move in with grandpa. And I continue to drink there for about 6 months, but I'm isolating. I'm out in the country. I'm sitting in my room most of the time, getting wasted, watching Netflix or calling people, being like, boo-hoo, poor me, and like in that drunken spiral. And I'm like, okay, there is an issue here. I'm just gonna drink wine. And so then every day I was drinking like 2 to 3 bottles of wine instead of the vodka. And so it's 2023. January 6th, 2023, and that is my brother's death day. So it had been 2 years since I lost my brother. I'm sitting in my grandpa's house in my mom's old bedroom, and I'm staring at a bottle of vodka when I said, okay, I'm only drinking wine. Well, now I have this bottle of vodka I'm enjoying, not enjoying, pretty much killing myself with in my room by myself. And I'm staring at it, and I just like took a shot and almost threw up. And I'm like, what the am I doing? Like, what am I doing? And I swear it was like everything stood still. It was a God moment. And it was like, what are you doing? Your mom died of cancer, which is poisoning. Your brother died of fentanyl poisoning. And now you're sitting here and you're poisoning yourself. Like, who do you think you are? Is like this like dialogue going on. And I swear it was like God just shaking me and being like, wake up. Like you have a life to live, you have purpose. They got that taken away, and now what are you gonna do? And so I called my dad. I said, Dad, I think I need to go to rehab. Like he answers the phone, he's at work. I say this line, and he goes, I think that's the smartest thing that's ever come out of your mouth. And I was like, okay. And so I was on my way to rehab literally the next day. This is also a God thing because I had gotten a new job doing social work, and I had
Okay.
been working for this company for 3 months. So my health insurance just kicked in too. And so I did get to go to rehab with health insurance. So it was way more affordable.
Totally.
And so, yeah, so the next day I went to this rehab. It was called First Steps Recovery in
Mhm.
Clovis, California. And that's because you just call the back of your insurance card, figure
What
out
am I
where the
qualified
closest
for?
one, and that was it. Yeah. And I
And
drank my whole way to rehab. What? Sorry.
yeah, Clovis is so like for other viewers, Clovis
Oh,
from where
right.
she's located at the time is about a 2 hour drive. So relatively
Right.
still pretty close to like a family and stuff. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, but almost like nice because I was like a little nervous, right? Of like I've never been to a rehab, like what to expect, and then I'm like I don't want to see anyone I know there.
Mhm.
Like that I remember having that thought, like if I went somewhere because we're from a very small area and like overall, I was like if I went to a rehabilitation facility here, I probably would know at least one person. And over there, I was like, my thought process was like, I'm still in that shame of like, I don't want people to know that I'm like having so many problems,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I drank my whole way to rehab. I had started dating someone new and he drove me there. And I'm like, stop at this liquor store. If this is the last time I'm gonna drink, like, I'm gonna drink. So I
Hmm.
drank the whole way. I get there. I do 6 days of like intensive detox because at this point in my alcoholism, Like if didn't drink, I was getting the shakes.
Oh,
I was
sure.
like feeling super nauseous and sweating. And so it's like a medical detox they put you through because you can have seizures if you do this, try to do it alone.
Mhm.
And granted, I did try to stop maybe like 5 months before this, and I made it like 3 days. And then I was like, no, like this is not happening. So I think I needed that medical detox that they put you through. And
Totally.
then I did a total of 32 days of intensive, like inpatient. You have groups every day, you go to AA. This particular rehab, though, I liked it because it wasn't just AA. Like they introduced you to Smart Recovery and other programs that's not just AA focused, which
Hmm.
kind of opened my eyes because my dad, 23 years sober, he was a big AA guy. So I kind of was turned off in a way. It's like whatever your parents are trying to like, ingrain in you, you like want to rebel.
Totally. I
Um,
hear that a lot. Yeah.
yeah. So that was like the best decision of my life. And so now my sobriety date is January 8th, 2023. And so I've been sober. I mean, now it's June 2026. So a little over 3.5 months or 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And so I haven't drank since that day on the way to rehab.
Wow.
And so when I got out, obviously, like your whole world, everything needs to change, like when this happens, because my way of thinking was just so backwards, if you will. Like I was so dependent on numbing, like using alcohol to like numb all of the pain that I had gone through, all the trauma. And so you really have to put in that work of like, okay, I gotta feel this to heal it. Like what I said earlier. So then I got out of my program and I graduated and then did intensive 4 months of outpatient therapy. So that looked like Zoom calls like this for
Mhm.
like 4 hours a day, group therapy 5 days a week. And I think I needed that. Like I bonded with the people in the program, right? There's counselors, you have a psychologist, like I am so glad that I went through a program like that because it's like way too much to do alone. Like you need that guidance and
Yeah.
help, and I specifically really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot of like grief that you were trying to escape from for a long amount of time that gets suppressed, and that all coming up and having to deal with that on your own. Nobody should have to. Nobody should have to like
Yeah.
figure out how to process something that they've suppressed that's like that big, and that much like pain involved on their own. It's
Yeah.
just, you need that support. You need to find like the community that's aligned with where you are and all of that. Yeah,
Yeah. And
that's a big story. I mean, God was
thanks.
working with you, girl.
Totally. And sometimes when I say it, like when I tell someone it out loud, I almost feel like it's someone else's story. And I really had to work hard at like not detaching from it. Like this is my story and this is my truth because it's so painful. And so it's like that's taken work. And it's still something that like sometimes I struggle with the reality and the finality of like my loved ones being gone. It's like, is this real life? Like, is this real? Oh yeah, it is. Like I have to remind myself and and see the beauty in it as well. It's like if me and my dad have talked about this. Like if Josh, my brother, his name was Josh was still here, would I be sober? Because Josh also liked to drink. Like we were very close, right? Like we were drinking partners, buddies, partners in crime since day one, together. And I'm like, I don't actually know. Like I'm a Christian. I believe in God, and I honestly think that everything does happen for a reason. And like a part of my purpose is to tell my story and help people to find this path of sobriety. And I know like my brother's in heaven and my mom, and they're looking down like, yeah, you're probably right. If Josh was still there, you guys would I'd probably be up there with him. Like, honestly, like, but
Yeah,
I mean, you never know. But
I'm just looking at you and I just have to be like, I just have to say this like throughout your whole story. Like, my heart is like so open to hear your story. But like, all I kept thinking truly, or that kept coming through, is like, what a beautiful girl. Like, thank God. Like, you're glowy, you're just beautiful. You're full of potential and you've lived it already. You've stepped into it fully, like you're focused on the path, you're focused on wellness, you're focused on like true fundamental healing for people. And I just say, keep thinking like, thank God she got sober because like,
oh,
I could
yeah,
just see that other version of yourself in pain and like numbing all of that and trying to escape reality like so deeply because it's so dense. But on the other side of this, like, look at who you've become in 3 years and like how many people that you've actually helped transform. Like, the deeper the pain, the more the impact that I feel like somebody actually makes on this planet. And like,
yeah,
the most genius ones or the people that are really helping like heal the frequency of this earth are the people that have been through some shit, like some serious
right,
shit, and they had to come out the other end. And so you see it, you hear it, but like this is just such a prime example of what that looks like in real life.
yeah.
And
Well, thank you,
you were tested, but what a blessing to have
girl.
you here,
You
like
know,
on the other side, just like glowing, gorgeous, like such a beautiful
thank
girl.
you.
It would just be so sad to see it waste away. And we see it all the time. And we see it more
Right,
as we're like sober and we can see past like the pain and into somebody's like potential of their life if they got sober. And it's like pray for them, like pray they get well because they could be so impactful. They can make such a difference.
right.
Like, you could see it.
Right.
I know
And
that.
it's so easy to get lost in it.
Hmm.
Like it just kind of snowballs, right? Like it's like ever that's first story from when I was 16 until I was 33 or 32, like it's so ingrained in our culture, alcohol is, it's like you use alcohol to celebrate when you're sad, when you're bored, when you're like for everything. And so it's so common, and I think the more that we talk about it, it becomes like less taboo, right? Like it's like other people have the, what do you call it? The permission to like come forward and actually think about, oh, maybe this isn't the way that I should be, like every night I shouldn't maybe be having a couple glasses of wine to relax. Because
Hmm.
what is it actually doing to your system and your mental health when you start becoming reliant? And it's very easy to become reliant on something. Like caffeine, for example, is still like a drug, and I need my coffee.
Oh yeah, same girl.
Uh, yeah, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you can just like the brain, the ego, like this is I've always
Mm.
it's just helped me like identify certain areas of like my workings in my brain because it's such a complex system. My ego is always the thing that like will validate anything negative to keep you like where you are and
Oh
keep you
yeah.
from like honoring your spirit or your heart. And it's like it will tell you the most, and if you can catch it, like it'll tell you the craziest stories as to like why your behavior is like cool or like whatever you're doing is like, fine. And then you know, ego wants to compare, so it's comparing it to other people who are maybe worse off than you to make you feel better. But like it's crazy. It'll go the
It
distance every
is.
time
Yep.
until you clock
Yep.
it and you go, excuse me, sir, I'm gonna need you to take a back seat for a second. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
no, like
Yeah.
I need a minute. Um, oh,
And
I,
it's hard. It's hard to do sometimes.
it
Yeah.
is.
And that
But
is the thing with alcoholism is like changing the way that you think. Like you really have to rewire it.
yeah.
And like I don't know how people do this without like a higher power.
Mhm.
Like that has been such like my saving grace is like my faith in God and the faith that I'm like going to see my loved ones again one day, like when the time is right.
Mhm.
Um yeah, it's just the brain is like a crazy thing too.
It is
I mean
so
like
wild. And you have to
yeah.
rewire and you have to set yourself up with like kind of a new identity. You know what I mean? Like alcohol
Totally.
tethers you into it, it affects every single area of your life, especially if you've been in
Yeah.
it. I was around the same age. I was about 16 to 31 and
Yeah.
I drank for to regulate every emotion because I started at such a young
Mhm.
age where you either learn healthy coping strategies for stress and emotions or you don't. And if you don't,
Yeah.
then you drink for every big emotion that you have, even the, you know, the joy and the bliss. And
Right.
eventually, like, that just takes over. It takes over. And also, let me mention of how toxic San Luis Obispo, the town, can actually be. Like, it's a college town, right? It's like Chico or Arizona, San Diego. And you go downtown, they're pouring insane amounts of liquor, not depending on how you're acting or anything. They will not cut you off until you basically are arrested. And
Right. I
and you
literally
face
passed
like
out in bathrooms.
all
Yeah.
the time on the bar,
Yeah,
everything.
it's like a
And it's
thing.
like, no, same for
Yeah.
me. It's like I have so many like what I used to be embarrassed of those moments. Now I'm at a place now like I can laugh and I'm like that poor girl. She was just a little hot mess express. But they will overserve you and you you it's really fun when you're going to college or when you're around all these people that are that same age and it's fine and then all those people leave or you graduate but those habits are ingrained already so
Yeah.
now you're just you know coming into your late 20s early 30s and you're still pre-gaming for everything every dinner every lunch date all this stuff and it's like
Right.
you have to rewire. You have to start like building new habits and a new identity, like as to who you are going to become as a sober person, because it's going to
Oh
look
yeah.
a lot different than who you have been for so long.
Yeah. The identity piece is huge. It's like oh, like what were my hobbies? Like who is Jenny? Like
Right.
I didn't even know. I mean I think we're always on this whole evolution of ourselves, right? Like our whole lives is like a part of it of living. But I also like when I stopped drinking, that was the piece to where I was like, wait, if I'm not gonna drink, like what am I gonna do? Like at home, like am I just gonna like watch shows without alcohol? Like am I gonna like what do I even enjoy doing? Because everything that I did, I involved alcohol somehow,
Everything.
you know? Like hiking, like you gotta bring like some wine for the top of the mountain, like or else it's not fun.
I would be
Like
hiking with a whole ass like growler in my backpack that's like another 5 pounds. You know what I mean? What?
yeah, it's for exercise, it's for the
Did I bring
games.
water? No. Did I have a growler of an IPA? Absolutely, I did.
It's
Cool.
honestly super like ironic now because
I
I
know.
like this is like a part of me now and my identity is like I call it my baby bottle. Like I always have my
It.
baby bottle with me. because I used to always have a bottle, like a plastic bottle of vodka or like, some kind of
Yep.
alcohol. And now I have like this nourishing, life-giving, hydrogen-rich water. And it's trading it. Like this is actually nourishing me instead of the alternative where I was like numbing. I was numbing the crap out of myself,
Mhm.
because yeah, avoiding any kind of real feelings. And then I would tell myself the lies that no, I am grieving. Like this helps me feel more, like to get through it. Like you make up the craziest things to
Same.
justify what you are doing. Yeah.
Think
And
about
it's
the
such
thoughts
a,
I used to have, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I
yeah,
believed it. I would be like, yeah,
yeah,
that's correct. Like,
yeah,
I'm good or
yeah.
whatever. But I want to get back to like your segue moment of how you did transition into the wellness and like when that happened for you out of more of like traditional medicine or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, I got out of rehab. This is 2023. I did the 4 months of intensive outpatient, right? My
Mhm.
my social working job wanted me to come back like the first day I got out of rehab. Like after I did my 32 days, they were like, "Come back like to us." And I was debating doing it because money, first of all, like we all need money. And I was like, what am I going to do with my time if I'm not working? But this 4 months of like intensive outpatient was all part of the program I was in. And there's no way you could work a full-time job and do this. So I chose my healing and I was living rent-free at my grandpa's house. So I was like, when else am I going to have the time to just like focus on me and do this? So that's what I did. I was focusing on literally just coping mechanisms, grieving, learning that. And I was battling with my own health journey because your body becomes so reliant on this alcohol, right? Like you are going to be having withdrawal symptoms. Like there's post-acute withdrawal syndrome that can last up to like 2 years after you stop drinking alcohol. And so my body was just like, what the heck is going
Waiting.
on? And so I actually had been hospitalized. I think it was a year and a half before I got sober. And basically I passed out. I was drinking that night. I fainted in the kitchen, got taken to the ER. Don't remember 3 weeks of my life. I was in the ICU. And this was the same year that my brother died. So my dad is freaking out. But essentially, I had this really bad, rare pneumonia that turned into septic shock.
Mhm.
That this is when they discovered I have all these autoimmune disorders. Okay. And so I had 4 chest tubes through my lungs to drain me. Basically, I was like drowning myself. So you would think that would have like caused me to, okay, wake up and have my God moment and get sober. Well, that didn't. I stayed sober after that hospital stint, I think for a week. And the first night I was back at my apartment by myself, I go to farmer's market and go to Creaky Tiki with
Yeah.
a friend. My brother, one of my brother's good friends, actually.
Yeah.
So anyways, I had these autoimmune disorders. And so I have psoriatic arthritis, fibromyalgia. Basically, my body was like attacking itself, blood work all over the place, and especially when I got out of rehab. So this is when I was like, okay, I'm on 6 different medications. Am I going to be on meds for the rest of my life? Like, what's really going on here? Well, my friend had been talking about this water for years. It'd been kind of like on my radar, but not really took it seriously, like at all, until I was feeling like crap. I was now sober. I'm like, okay, what's this water about, Jilly? She gives me the spiel. She's like, okay, get a system. If it doesn't work for you, then send it back. Like that's what you can do. So I get a system. I start drinking it. I start getting exposed to this community of people that are like not drinking, right? That actually
Yeah.
care about what they're putting in their body, about care about mindset and healing. And I'm like, these are my people. This is
Yeah.
exactly what I need to be doing. And so I'm a nerd and start learning all the things water, like what is this water? I get labs done. Well, all my inflammatory markers came way down after 2 months
Nice.
on this water. I'm starting to feel natural energy again. I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, there's something to this. Well, it comes with a business as well, like an income stream. Okay, if you help 10 other people get this life-giving water in their lives, then your system pays for itself. So I start
Mhm.
doing that. I start talking about it because I'm feeling better. My dad gets one, my grandma gets one. I start talking about it online. I'm going to their events. I'm meeting friends that aren't alcoholics. Like everything is just like way better. I mean, I'm still dealing with all the shit, right? Like I'm actually
Yes.
feeling for the first time. So, but I think community matters a lot, especially when you're like all your friends were alcoholics too or drinking, like you had drinking buddies. And so it just was a natural thing. Like I was learning all these coping mechanisms in the therapy through rehab. And then they're talking about a lot of the same things, like in these training calls for this business. And
Yeah.
so I'm just pouring energy into this business and helping people in this way. And so I'm like, you know what? Now it's been 3 years later, and I'm on this entrepreneurial path, helping people get this water still and it's working and it's working for others. So I can always go back to my occupational therapy degree and like help people in that way if I want. But right now, this is in alignment and it's been a journey. Like I never thought I would be helping people get water in their lives when I was such like the party girl, like alcoholic,
Mhm.
toxic, yeah, Taco Bell at 2 in the morning
Yeah.
kind of gal. Now I'm like this wellness guru girl, but here we are.
Definitely. I love
Yeah.
it. No, I'm such a fan. Like when somebody's into this, I'm like, tell me more because I do believe in cellular healing. And essentially
Yeah.
what better way than like having water that's actually electrically charged come into your body that takes up 80% of your structure, have it be
Yep.
of the best quality that you can possibly get your hands on. Like it's not a make it
Yeah.
make sense moment. It just is, you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like
100%. Yeah,
it
it didn't. Yeah, it's basically the missing puzzle piece for a lot of people's journeys because we'll do every supplement under the sun, we'll do all the exercise, like everything, and then the one thing that people don't want to spend a lot of money on is water, which essentially we're made of water. Like it's so overlooked, and I think a lot of people's problems and issues health wise and mental health wise could be remedied by pouring energy into learning about something as simple as water.
I
Like,
couldn't agree more.
why? Yeah, like regular water that's not mineral rich, that's not molecular hydrogen rich. It's all processed, chemically altered, stagnant water, right? We only absorb about 15% of it. With
Mm-hmm.
this water, it's like 85%. And
Mm-hmm.
so your neurons are firing more. You feel like more loose in your body because everything, it's like
Your
an
lymph is
well-oiled
flowing
machine.
again. Yeah, your fascia
Yeah,
softens, your lymph flows, like the
exactly.
inflammation goes down. Like, dude,
Yeah,
I'm here for it, girl. Like, I've felt the
yeah.
difference in my own body. I was getting it from Kaylee, like when I lived in
Cool.
Los Osos, like every time. And um, I really want to get one, but I'm in a trailer, so like spacious wise, like I don't really have the space like for the setup, but I love getting
I mean,
access to it.
it's about as big as a Keurig. Like, Like it's funny because a lot of people say like aesthetically they don't like it or whatever. I'm like, okay, if you look at your body in 10 years on this water versus off of it, you're not gonna care what your sink looks like. Like,
Fair.
like
And that's
your
valid.
arthritis is not gonna be there. Like there's gonna be so many things that matter more than what your freaking kitchen looks like
Yeah.
if you
And you
get
can
on the water.
bedazzle it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, and you can do it under the sink. Like my dad's wife was like, that ugly thing is not going on my counter.
That's
So
amazing.
they
I'm
make
a
like a
very
separate,
aesthetic. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, your environment does matter. Like I feel that. But now like I'm so in love with my machine that I'm like, it's beautiful. Like
Oh,
it looks
yeah,
great in
yeah.
there.
It's its own like
But
little
my dad
piece.
Yeah, my dad's wife didn't want it on the counter, so they do make separate drinking faucets to where you can put it underneath, and then you'll have like just a separate drinking faucet for the Kangen water.
Oh,
If
that's
that makes sense.
awesome. So how
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
are you mostly just um I mean, your own story is so transformative and it speaks for itself. And I have heard
yeah.
other women say that their autoimmune has been lowered or like
Right.
non-existent for a long time
hmm
through this structured water. Um,
hmm
and so is your job just talking about it and getting the actual systems in people's homes?
Yeah, essentially that's a big part of it is actually getting these systems for individuals essentially. Another piece of what I do is like I help people build their own businesses around it.
Hmm.
So like my specific business, like I'm really about sobriety, right? Because that's been a piece of my journey. And like I mentioned earlier, I think what we are meant to do and our purpose has a lot to do with what we've experienced, what we've already been through, and our job here on this planet is to help other people navigate those waters and like get through those same things. So, like, for example, if you wanted to get a living water system and then you were like, okay, well, I'm already building X, Y, and Z. How do we implement this water into what you're already building and building a business, a brand, a calling, like your purpose around that as well? So
Beautiful.
I'm building a team. Like essentially, I have 12 people on my team here, most locally. I have one girl in Colorado. Um, but building a team of other entrepreneurial minded people that also want to help people get this water
Yeah.
and help people navigate whatever else that they're navigating, if that
Yes.
makes sense. So
Yeah.
it's like it's the end user, it's helping individuals get it in their home and then taking it a layer further for people that want to do the business aspect of it as well.
Integrate it
Yeah.
into their own story of like healing and what it's
Yeah.
been to them and what it's helped them
Yeah.
overcome essentially. And
Right.
you think about
hmm
water too, it's like it's such a female element,
hmm
emotions and fluidity and all of these things. So like whenever there's been some girlies in this industry who will do like water ceremonies with the floating petals and
Oh
like all the
yeah.
things and like
Yeah.
it's really truly such a vibe when you can take oh, when you were addicted to taking sips of poison throughout the entire day and into sips of a divine intelligence all day every day that's like healing you on a like molecular level. Like it's just
Yeah.
what a full circle story and moment. And I do feel like there's many people that can integrate this system into their own wellness journey and what they've overcome. So how would people be
Yeah,
able to
like
get a hold of you?
yeah, so Instagram, that's where I'm like most active
Okay.
probably, and it's Jennifer Hale 2O. You get it
Yeah.
like Hale 2O water H2O.
I will put a
And then I'm yeah, and then
okay,
on
you're
Facebook
good.
it's Jennifer Hale. And then on TikTok, I'm also building there as well. So it's Jennifer underscore Hale 20.
Beautiful.
Um, yeah.
Amazing. I cannot
This has
wait
been so
to
good.
get your name out there. What's that?
So this has just been so good. Like I feel
I'm so
good like talking about my story. Like it's very healing. And I'm honored to be here and thank you so much for allowing me to do so and getting to know you too. I'm excited. I think we talked earlier that you're going to be sharing your story here soon and I'm honored to be able to help facilitate that and ask you the questions.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. We talked about previously before I started recording, Jenny offered to help kind of interview me about my story. And so we're going to do like a little role reversal here pretty soon and get that out to the world as well because sharing your story is the utmost importance and the world deserves to hear it, and there could be somebody who just lost their mother and their brother as well, like you never know, and they could just like fall into this place of like somebody understands me and has pulled themselves through and is on the other side. Look at, she's built a aligned business. Like it gives me chills up and down my body to know that like the voices need to be heard, the stories need to be
Yeah,
shared, and like we isolate so much in our addiction because we don't think that anybody understands our pain. And sobriety is a very loud community, and it needs to stay that
hmm,
way because we're all here with like open hands, ready to help the next person, get through that. And anybody
yeah,
that is sober is willing to help somebody in need to a certain extent, right? And so, like, through these
100%.
stories, through the transformation, through the inspiration, it's just like one soul at a time. But your story is like profound, and what you've been through is truly miraculous to see you on the other side, glowing and sharing your gifts with the community. And so, just like, literally, thank you so much. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's really great talking to you. And yeah, like I said, I think that the big thing for other people that are maybe navigating like, oh, am I an alcoholic or do I have a problem? Is like usually if you're questioning it, the answer is usually yes. And to just ask for help. I wanted to make sure to say that. And I love hearing people's stories too, and you can always reach out to me. As I've said, I think that's part of my purpose and I think that's definitely part of your purpose too, Christy, is like having this outlet for people to tell their stories and seek help and find a friend along the way.
Yeah. We're here to support, and there's such a beautiful sober community in the 805, and I want to keep
Mhm.
like opening people up to this community. And whoever these videos reach or whatever, maybe they're not here, but even if they like moved here for the sober community, because it's big and it's strengthening and it's only getting larger like in time and
Yeah.
more fun. We're doing like really fun events. Like I'm planning some events coming up too. So like we're having a good time on this side too. Like the party's not over, when you get sober. It's
No, the
actually
party is
just
not
begun.
over.
At
Yeah.
all. At all.
Yeah.
So thank you for those wise words that you shared too. Like it's so hard to surrender that and ask for help when you need it, and that's an essential part of like getting well. And that's what we're here to do on the planet, is to like utilize each other when we need and give and
Yeah.
receive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate
Definitely.
that. That's a good tip for people.
Well, thank you. Thanks for so
So
much for
welcome.
having me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
We'll
been
have to talk
beautiful.
more soon.
We will. We'll connect about the role reversal and
Perfect.
what that will look like. And just thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and thanks for all that you do.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Bye, hun.
Bye.